Frank, tell everybody how you're doing and what your thoughts are a couple of days removed from the fight.
I'm doing well. Obviously, I'm disappointed with the outcome. Roots a little bit and do jujitsu a lot more with Drysdale because I think, I'm happy with where my stand up is now, but I still think I need to get my strength back to where my reaction time is. And then by putting myself in that position to throw the knee, I actually questioned what rule set we were going with, whether it was the old rules, the new rules. Could I hit knee him because his hand was down, or could I not? And with somebody as good as Fedor, you can't wait 1 second. That heartbeat was enough for him to get up. And then he threw me with a great Uchimata, and then that kind of hurt my ego. I got to admit, it embarrassed me to get tossed through the air like that. So when we got up, I kind of went into Street Fighter mode. I just started throwing left hand after left hand instead of setting up my strikes and being composed, which 2 years since I've competed seriously, my composure was not what it should have been. That's probably where the most ring rust came into, is once I got into a firefight, I just got emotional instead of staying strategic.
Yeah, I mean, 48 seconds, it was a lot of action for 48 seconds. And if we kind of, you just gave the overview there, but if we take a few key moments of the fight, you dropped him early, as you said. And when he was coming back up, now I've watched the fight again. Have you watched it at all yet?
Not yet. I haven't had a chance to.
Okay.
After the fight,
I
hung out in Chicago Sunday with the wife and the kids. We went to a Cubs game, and then Sugar Factory again, hung out, and then Monday we sent the kids home because they had school, and we stayed an extra day in Chicago to check things out. And I got home Monday night, and then I messed up. I got in trouble.
Frank, hold your thought there, because I want you to explain that for the dramatic conclusion of the podcast. Your bizarre travel schedule. So hold on for a second for that. But the reason I asked was because I watched it a number of times. And what you're talking about, that sequence where Fedor was down, he's coming back up, but he's got one hand on the mat. Are we doing new unified rules? Are we doing old rules and all that? And
if your hands are down, they have to be bearing weight, which means I can't just put my fingertips on the mat. So one hand now is no longer considered a down opponent. So that's what we trained for. And then when I first showed up, to Bellator, they give you all the paperwork. You check in on Tuesday. One of the things that they came and told me, they gave me a sheet, a printout saying, hey, but countless times explaining it over at the ACB, I understand it. Mm-hmm. And I really overestimated my ability to make that adjustment, because that's actually why I didn't even try to throw a knee to the body or the head or anything. Because when I pinned his head down, I was thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute, what's the
back to his feet? When he executes the hip toss, you come back up. Now you're aggro, like your
ego dictate how I fought. Before that, I'm pretty good at being very emotionless and not trying to let that enter. But once I got through to the air, and I, such a highlight reel kind of throw, my ego was very injured. It wasn't like even the throw hurt me. It didn't even really score that much for him. I mean, at that point, if I just would have calmed down, I'm still winning the fight. That short end, because I dropped him and they judge on if I got thrown through the air. All of a sudden, I just went for the kill instead of trying to fight like a martial artist. I fought like a street fighter, and that didn't fare so well.
Now, when I saw you back at the room, you did not. Our first part of the conversation was you did not remember how you got knocked down. And, of course, so much focus was on the left uppercut that he threw, but he threw a right before that clipped you behind the left ear. And that seemed to be what really threw off your equilibrium and left you prone for that left uppercut. Is that kind of the last part of that you remember, that sequence, like you were telling me?
Well, I remember starting to engage to throw a left, and then I woke up with my hands on the ground getting hit, and then I was going to try to recover. But then by that time, Mike Bedard stepped in, and, I kind of wish he would have waited one or two more punches because I was coming back. But it's still a good stoppage. I get it, you know what I mean?
You're talking about Beltran, the referee?
Beltran, sorry. Yeah, I keep saying Bedard. Beltran.
Yeah.
Mike Beltran.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't know what I got hit with until afterwards when you guys talked, and I saw a small clip of it. You're going, oh, and and he landed a good shot. And the reason why he landed, I mean, the back of my head has a huge knot right now, right where the occipital bone is, and it's my fault. It's not him. It's not that, because somebody in the room was like, well, isn't it illegal to hit someone behind the head? I'm like, no, I did it to myself. I threw the left hand and leaned so far over, like I trained myself to stop doing, and then I got pissed off and I went back to an old technique. And so when he threw the right hand, I basically got clubbed in the back of the head. Yeah, and that's the shot that like my jaw, my chin, nothing really hurts except for the back of my head. So that was the most significant shot that stunned me.
No, it was 48 seconds of fury. I will tell you, both fighters, you and Fedor, met with rave reviews. First of all, a lot of accolades for you coming in really in shape. I heard Rogan talk. In fact, Rogan and Eddie Bravo and Brendan Schaub did a fight companion watching the fight. And Rogan was particularly noting how in shape you were. Eddie actually called the fight over as soon as you dropped Fedor. He was saying he thought it was done right then. But maybe the best review the fight got, I haven't even told you this, I don't think, but Chael texted me Sunday once I got back, because I came back on Sunday, and he just texted me to see how you were doing. And he said that Frank looked great, and he proclaimed it the best short fight ever. Now, you'd probably like to win the best short fight ever, but it seems like at least it's nice to know that, everybody felt like it delivered the hype of two legends meeting up.
Yeah, I'm glad we performed well for the crowd. I had my moments in the fight. He came back at hit moments. That's why Fedor, he's fought from behind before, and I let him off the hook. I had him, and it's my fault that I let him loose. I can't let somebody of that caliber have opportunity to recover. He recovered, and then he caught me, and he throws hard still. I mean, I even said that in the fight. I mean, even his loss against Mitrione, he dropped Mitrione. I mean, he still is a very powerful puncher because of his speed. It's just that I thought that I could do better, and I just didn't. Like I said, hopefully, next fight out, honestly, probably not take someone as dangerous as Fedor, get my feet a little bit more underneath of me, and then, hopefully Fedor, if he goes through and has success and wins the tournament, maybe I can be his first title defense if I've strung together some wins.
Well, all right. So you're talking very optimistically and proactively about fighting again sooner rather than later, because that's another question everybody's going to have. I mean, you're not beholden to any suspension other than the standard 30 days for sparring and 45 days for fighting, I believe, at this point. So that
Right.
being said, what would be the plan? How quickly would you like to get back in there?
Well, you know what? I'm going to go talk to Mr. C.